Alrighty, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going over, if you couldn't tell by the intro, we're going over every single airsoft replica that I own. I'm not going to go into extreme detail about every single gun because then the video would be an hour long, and I'm sure none of you want to hear me talk for an hour. So we're going to go over the basics, kind of quick overview and everything. The entire collection that we have here probably costed me from start to finish around $10,000. And you might think, oh, you only have 20 guns and most of them are pistols. How do you hit that? Well, every single rifle that I own is completely built for the most part. I have several fully built pistols, so I mean it adds up once you start upgrading and changing out parts on all your stuff. So let's start from the biggest guns and work our way down to the smallest. So first off, we have a CYMA SR25. This started out a little bit differently. It had a longer outer barrel and a longer Knights Armament style rail, but I changed it out for a 16-inch barrel and I think a 15-inch Octarms rail system. These things are super cheap. There's always a gap in between the front of the receiver and the rail on these for some reason, but I didn't really care. I just wanted something affordable. We have a replica Surefire flashlight on there in tan/bronze. You never really know what you're going to get when you order a bunch of these off of AliExpress. You can either get nice looking tan or you get this weird bronze color, whatever. Up top we have a fake replica Geisley scope mount/riser. It does have Geisley trademarks on it, but if it's pretty funny, you'll see they spelled precision wrong because China. But I don't care. It was like 15 bucks and it works just fine. This scope is a CV Life 1-6 LPVO. It's also illuminated. I picked this scope because it was really affordable on Amazon. Plus I like the turrets that you don't need a tool to adjust, and it's illuminated, which is really nice. And it has the same optic or the same reticle as my SIG LPVO that I have on my actual AR-15. So I got it because it kind of matched. We have these stocks you'll see a lot on a lot of my guns. These are the CYMA whale stocks. Whale stock. Biggest downside to these stocks is that big trademark that says whale stock on it. It's hideous. But the stocks themselves are really cheap. They're only like 25 bucks on Evike, and they can fit a pretty large battery in the back here, which is kind of why I have them on a lot of my guns, because I don't like using Airsoft brand batteries because I think that they're dumb, even though they might fit in smaller places like buffer tubes and other stuff, and so you can run more minimalist stocks, but I just think running bigger batteries is better. I'd rather have 5 big batteries than 10 stupid tiny batteries. Inside the gun, we have a Type 4 barrel, we have upgraded hop-up and bucking and everything. Can't remember what motor we have in here, but it might actually be stock. But inside's also a Perrin MOSFET, M140 spring, and then most of the other internals are actually kind of stock on this gun because they're really nice from the CYMA line, or the CYMA Platinum line, I should say. Really, no complaints. Just want to change the motor and spring and get the FPS up, and I think this guy's shooting around 480 FPS. But enough without this gun, let's move on to the next one. Moving on, we have my Tokyo Marui NGRS Recoil Shock Mark 18. This is one of my favorite guns I own, but it's also one of the most heavy guns that I own, so I don't use it a whole lot. But when I'm feeling kind of milsimmy, I'll bring this guy out. We have PTS stock, we have PTS grip, we have some GMP rail covers, we have a Strike Industries trigger guard, we have a EMG Guardian suppressor that also fits a tracer, we have a replica PEC box and a Surefire light that both do work. This is the green laser version of this PEC box. I think this brand is all Wadson stuff, or WADSN. On dual switch here, and I have a dual switch on another gun too, but I'll just show you. So top one is the light, bottom one And the battery's dead on the pack, but it's laser. We also have a PTS vertical grip right here. And then we have a replica Unity mount. This is not the PTS one. This is just another replica, untrademarked, that I found on Amazon for pretty cheap. This is a Holy Warrior EXPVS 3, I believe. This is a really, really nice EOTech replica sight. I mean, you're paying a lot more for these ones than you are for other EOTechs. One I'll show you later, it's like 50 bucks, but it's pretty good. This one you pay about 100 or 120, I think, or something around there. But you can tell build-wise, it's a lot nicer. If you guys are old school and you guys remember the old Hurricane EOTech replicas, it's around that quality, if not a little bit nicer, in my opinion. But on the inside, I have a G&G motor. I have stock gears, stock piston, metal bushings. I have a Eagle 6 M110 spring. This is all wired to Deans. I do not have a MOSFET in this gun yet. That's my next kind of plan for this. But I only run 7.4, so it's not a huge deal at the moment. We have a stock bucking, because it seems to be the only bucking I can get it to work with for some reason. But it's also really good, so I'm not complaining. And then we have a ZCI 6.02 barrel, and with that setup, it's shooting right at 390 FPS with .20s, and I really can't complain. This gun shoots great. This is probably my main milsim gun if I ever do go out anytime soon. But if I get tired of holding this gun because it's so heavy, I have the G&G that we'll be showing you later that I have another video on, which is another kind of milsim gun, but it's plastic, so it's super light. But again, kind of not a whole lot going on with this gun, so let's move on to the next one. Next on the list, we have my G&G Bateau combat machine. Now, I'm not going to go very in detail on this one at all because I have an entire video on this whole build, but real quick, we have the whale stock, PTS grip, Leviathan trigger, Leviathan MOSFET, stock gears, Paragon brushless motor, FPS soft air compression set and piston, Hollow Sun on a Unity riser. We have PTS hand stop. We have the same Watson PEC 15 and Surefire light on the dual switch, just in black, and the same EMG Guardian suppressor with a ZCI Type O barrel and Airsoft Mutation hop-up bucking. And let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have my CYMA or EMG Lantac LASF 15. It's an M4 with an ergy rail. It's really all it is. It comes with this dumb grip that I really hate, but I'm gonna retexture and reshape so it's a little nicer in the hand. Stock, or I shouldn't say stock, the factory stock on here is fine. I just don't have anything else that fits this buffer tube for some reason right now. So I gotta do some experimenting, see what fits the best. But completely stock on the outside. I bought this gun originally as an AEG, of course, but I moved some of the internals that I bought for this gun over to that G&G Bateau that you just saw. So now we have a Polar Star Fusion engine inside. This is actually, I bought it off of a buddy that I sold it to originally, like a couple years ago. So this is my old Fusion engine that I bought back. We have a silver speed trigger, amped IGL. I think it has a purple nozzle, and it has a stock trigger board in it, but I might switch it out for the Gorilla one that my friend included, because I don't know if I like the clicky all that much. Like, I like it, but I don't know, I think I can pull the trigger faster without the click. Inside is just a standard ZCI barrel and the stock CYMA bucking. I just don't have anything else at the moment to throw in here, but we'll probably throw in like a quad or something like that. And then we have a replica Aimpoint T2 on here. Really nice replica. I believe, actually I can't remember who makes it. It might just be a random one on eBay, but it looks good, fits on the Unity mount, and it works great. Next thing we have a Streamlight ProTech HLX. Actually, this might just be the regular HL. The X is bigger, but just really bright Streamlight flashlight. Really like these guys. I just wanted to keep this guy semi-lightweight because I'm running a tank and everything, so I don't want to make it too heavy. And then we have the shorter EMG Guardian suppressor on here as well. I have not been able to shoot this outdoors yet with my injury still, so I'm waiting to do that, but it should shoot pretty good, being a fusion engine, pretty much no matter what kind of barrel setup you have in here. But let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have my Tokyo Marui MWS gas blowback rifle. I just wanted a gas gun because I thought it'd be fun, especially during the summer. Kind of a bummer that I happened to hurt myself over the summer, so I couldn't even use this thing. But being a Tokyo Marui, it'll probably work great when it's cold outside too, so I'm not too worried about it if I really want to give it a go. But pretty stock. I have a 4-watt or quad bucking. I have the Waldo custom top-up arm and a Maple Leaf 603 barrel in this gun. We have a Dai Frico Kung Fu grip, super vertical angle on this guy, and it's super comfy. Of course, it's a gas rifle, so it takes real steel grips. This is the same grip I have on my actual AR, so I have it on this one as well. I had this laying around, this pistol brace. I just thought it'd be pretty funny to have it on an airsoft gun, since obviously you don't need NFA tax stamps for an airsoft rifle. But it's a short gun, so I thought it would fit, and it looks pretty good. We also have another fake Unity riser on here with a replica EOTech sight. This is the one a little cheaper than the Holy Warrior on my NGRS, but it's also not as good quality. This one's the best one I've found so far. I have a couple that are just garbage and they were not worth the money whatsoever, but this one's nice and it has full trades, which I really, really like. We have a BCM grip, as well as these BCM M-LOK rail covers that I have on pretty much everything that's M-LOK, if you haven't noticed. Also have a 9.5-inch replica Geisley Mark 16 Ergi rail on here. Big fan of these rails. I just also like the look of the tan one. This is a replica Surefire light on here, just like a lot of the other guns I have, but this is just a fake pack box and a regular single switch. I normally, almost all of my magazines are just Marui MWS magazines, but I also have a couple of these guns modified P-mags. They match almost the AEG blue P-mags that I have, so I thought it'd be fun to have a couple of these guys too. But functionally the same as any other magazine. Oh yeah, and the Strike Industries trigger guard that I have on my recoil shock. I just like these a lot. They almost give you like a little backer for your magazines, so you can't like miss your magwell as easy. Not that I would ever miss my magwell because I'm a professional, obviously, but it's there in case you need it. Everything else in this gun is stock because it's an MWS, and you kind of just run these things until they break. So there's that, and let's move on to the next one. We have made it to the meme gun, which is one of my favorite guns that I have currently. This guy has a fully built gearbox inside, or fully built retro arms gearbox with 10-to-1 gears, Paragon motor, full compression, or I think it's FPS compression set. Actually no, it has a Airsoft Mutations. Actually no, who makes this stuff? I don't remember. If I can get a parts list, I'll list it right here. But there's a lot of stuff in this gun. But same whale stock. This is an APS buffer tube. I just bought it because it's purple. I hate APS other than that. We have a Tap Airsoft CNC drop stock. We're running PTS clear EPMs. These things are sick. We have a fake, actually it's not even a scalar works replica. This is a This is a random RMR riser that I found on Amazon. This is an actual Trijicon RMR that I just didn't have a use for on a real steel gun, so it's on here. To address the elephant in the room, yes, the gun is clear. Duh. This is a G&G combat machine, clear body. Pretty rare, to be honest. The place I got it from only stocks like one every couple weeks. And I happened to refresh the website at the right time and it was right there. This started off as a clear gel blaster, but that body kind of sucked. So I actually went and found this G&G one, and it's so much nicer. It's actually airsoft spec, unlike the gel blaster one. It didn't have to mod anything. This whole gun came together so easy. But what that clear gel blaster did give me is a clear Ditag SL, or not even Ditag, a clear SLR rail system, which is super cool, and a clear pistol grip, which oddly enough has the same markings as the Ares Amoeba. I don't know if these are actually made by Ares, but it's nice. Good material. Don't feel the heat of the motor at all because, well, it's brushless, which helps. But moving forward, we have a Magpul M-Lock RVG, or MVG, I think they're called maybe. I have no idea. I got it for free. This is an Umbrella Armory Loudenser. I can't even think of the name. Amplifier. Yeah, or Loudenser is actually funnier. Let's just go with that. And then on top of here, we have a clear PEQ box from, I think Element makes these. You can find these on e-bike every now and then, but surprisingly pretty decent quality. The flashlight's pretty garbage, but the laser's nice. But yeah, this is kind of my fun fuck around CQB speed softy gun. It fits the same kind of principle as my High-Cappa that I built. Just for funsies, probably won't be my main gun whatsoever, but I put a lot of money into it. It's stupid fast. It shoots like 35 RPS. It's got instant trigger response. It's very fun, and it's very, very accurate for only having a Smurf's dick length of barrel. But there's that. Let's move on. On to the next gas blowback rifle, SMG. I bought, this was kind of an impulse buy. I found a really good deal on Reddit, or it might have been on Hoppa. Either way, it was a really good deal. Came with a lot of magazines, enough to keep me going for sure. But this is a Tokyo Marui MP7 gas blowback. Super cool. These guns are awesome. They have an adjustable stock with 2 positions, like some of them that only have 1, I think. So you can kind of adjust it to whatever. I have a lot of fake stuff. I have a fake Magpul sling mount. You can kind of really only run these things as single point sling guns. I don't know why you'd ever want to run this as a dual sling. It's just really short, and that'd be really weird. Let's see, this is another fake Aimpoint T2 replica on a replica ScalarWorks mount and riser. I just like the look of these guns with the T2 or T1. I think the EOTechs are a little fat. And I run, in any video game where I run an MP7, I also run it with a T1, so it kind of just fits with that aesthetic. This is just another fake PEQ box. I just had a tan one laying around, so I threw it on. This is not the version with the removable foregrip, unfortunately, but actually I don't know if Marui even makes that version, but this one does fine. It's just not as cool. And then I have another replica Surefire light on this side. Kept a pressure switch off of it just so if I'm holding it like this, I can just flip my thumb around and activation's right there. So I don't have momentary, but probably won't need it too much either. This is also just a Ace-Tech Bifrost tracer unit. It's just what I had laying around. All the suppressors I have are just a little too fat and they weigh the barrel down a little bit. These guys aren't super steady. So I'll probably just keep this on here or the regular flash hider. It looks fine. But other than that, the gun is completely stock. One thing I will say about these guns that kind of has the benefit over the KWA one, I'm not really sure about the VFC one. I don't know anything about that gun, but for hop-up adjustment, you don't need a tool. You don't need to open your bolt or anything. You just pull forward on your trigger, and there's your hop-up right there. Boop. That's like the coolest hop-up adjustment ever. I wish more companies could figure out cool ways to have their hop-up adjustment. But all stock on the inside. Other than that, this will probably be a really good winter gun too. I've used these guns with frozen magazines and they're awesome. They're super efficient no matter what you do to them. Just need a stronger recoil spring, I think, for when summer comes back around. But other than that, that is my Marui MP7. Okay, from here, we're kind of going to break up the pistols into categories, just because there's a lot of pistols and going over each and every single one of them. Again, you probably don't want to be here for that long. But we're going to talk about pistols first. We're going with the big fuckers. First thing is the Marui Mark 23 non-blowback gas pistol. If you don't know anything about these guns, they're crazy quiet. This is with gas. Really, really quiet. I don't know if the microphone will do that justice. But no recoil, nothing. All the gas goes just to the BB, so there's no noise. It's crazy efficient. You can get well over 100 shots per magazine. And the suppressor works and comes off. Normally you get this big LAM flashlight unit on here, but I took it off and I actually have a 3D printed rail segment, so I can put normal flashlights on this gun, like an X300 or a TLR1. And I think it looks a little cooler too. Next, we have the WE Desert Eagle, effectively known as the Weagle, as we call it. This gun's sick. This was also another impulse buy. It's just so cool. It has a huge nozzle, like actually gigantic, like as big as a gas rifle's nozzle. So power on this thing's nuts. Unlike Marui, it uses standard TM or I should say not TM, standard VSR10 barrel and buckings. So inside I have a PDI barrel and a PDI hop-up bucking. And I cut the barrel short to Glock 17 length because a full-length barrel, this thing shoots like 1.7 joules. So when I cut the barrel down, it's only doing 1 joule now, which is more than enough as a secondary gun. I guess secondary gun. The red dot on here is just a random CV Life one that I had laying around. I thought it looked funny, so I kept it on there. But this gun is sweet. Crazy recoil. And for some reason, because this gun is just everything's just a big hunk of metal on this thing, it's super reliable. I have a friend that has had one for a while now and it's showing very little wear. And I know I've seen people online beat the crap out of these guns with no issues. So I'm excited to use this one day, if I can find a holster for it. Next, we kind of have random pistols that don't really fit into any other category, but we have a Marui HK45 gas blowback. This gun is 100% stock. This is kind of one of my winter guns because these guns, for some reason, work really well in cold weather. And if you use these in hot weather, the slides do tend to break. And metal slides with this thing is extremely rare, so I try not to use it when it's hot out, just so I don't break it. But just like the Mark 23, this has a 16mm positive thread, so it can actually use the same suppressor as the Mark 23, and this one came with its own little baby suppressor too. It doesn't really do anything because it's a gas blowback, but looks neat. And then next up on the list is the Sig Sauer licensed VFC Mark 25 P226. This is the Navy SEAL version of the P226. Big fan of this model. The literal only reason I have this gun, and I shit you not, is because I'm a little obsessed with the Hawaii Five-0 TV show, and this is the exact gun that Steve McGarrett uses with the X300 and everything. But other than that, this gun is actually really nice. It's got really crisp blowback. Also surprisingly really good with cold magazines. Range and accuracy is really solid. And even with this gun being not cleaned or anything for like 6 months, it ran like it was new. In fact, when I cleaned it, it didn't even feel that different, which is crazy. It's just really nice on this guy. And next up we have High-Cappas and 2011s, whatever you want to call them. First thing is just a pretty much stock Marui 4.3 High-Cappa. This gun works pretty good as just having like a secondary gun. Normal plastic slide. I'll change this out when it breaks, but for now, nice, easy, good secondary to have. Next up we have a completely stock Marui Extreme 45. Kind of a meme gun, but fun. I got these two guns right here for $80 with 5 magazines, all Marui. The guy who I bought them from didn't know if they worked. They did, and then thought the magazines leaked. They didn't, so I got a really good deal. You guys have seen this one, obviously. This is my fully custom $1,200 build High-Cappa. A lot of Airsoft Masterpiece LA Kappa parts in this guy. This is still one of the best High-Cappas I've built in a long time. And then last guy, this one's fun. This is the EMG Staccato CS, I think this is. Yes, Staccato CS. This is the compact size. Again, another impulse buy. I just thought it was funny that there was a pink version of this gun, and it's surprisingly pretty nice. I will say when I got it out of the box, the fitment between the slide and the frame was garbage. It's like, I think they fitted it before they painted it, so it was just really, really tight on the rails. So I had to do a lot of sanding to get it to be as smooth as I have it now. I also removed the RMR plate because I don't plan on running a red dot on something this tiny. And I think it looks a lot nicer this way. The only downside is you can't run a flashlight on here unless you get the specific one for shorter frames. There is a TLR7 model that is made for this gun, but I don't want to spend that on a gun that I'll probably won't use that much. Oh, hop-up unit on this thing is also garbage. It stripped out really, really fast, so I just have a Marui hop-up unit in there. But this gun's neat. It's really pretty, and it's pink. Next we have Glocks, and the only one that is licensed is this one. But let's start off with these two. These are my older and little brother to each other. These are Marui Glock 17 and 19, both Gen 4. I set these guys up because I really like bad boys. Will Smith and his two I think they were like Gen 2 Glock 17s or whatever in black and silver dual tone. I just had that idea when putting these together, and I thought it'd be fun to have a big one and a smaller one. But this is a Marui Gen 4 Glock 17, like I said, but most of it on the outside and inside is garter. We have a garter slide, garter frame, garter hammer, garter blowback housing, garter nozzle, TTI TDC hop-up chamber, which is a pain to actually fit into this gun. UAC, I think, trigger, or UAC, whoever makes these now. Dynamic precision trigger, I think it is. And same goes for the magwell. Surefire X300. This is the turbo model, so it has crazy high candela, so it's a really hot, like bright hot spot right in the middle. And then we have the same Toki Marui Glock 7 or Glock 19. Pretty much the same build on the inside, minus the hop-up unit. This one's still a stock hop-up unit, but we have a Streamlight TLR7. This is the same light I have on my real Glock 19, so I wanted to match it, and then holsters are the same for it, which is nice. That being said, I could also run an X300 on here and run the same holsters as this gun, so not a big deal there. Next we have the officially licensed GHK Gen 5 Glock 17. This gun is awesome. I have the aluminum slide on there right now just because I think I like it better. but I do have the steel slide and barrel conversion for this gun. If I really wanted to run CO2 only and have the heaviest kicking gun on planet Earth. But this gun's super cool. It's really realistic. Dimensions are almost spot on with the real one. This is also the MOS model, so you can mount a red dot on here. Inside we have the quad hop-up chamber, bucking, barrel, and trigger. So full quad parts. The one downside to these guns is the trigger pull. It's really, really hard. Like, it's hard to tell how much effort I'm putting in, but it's much harder than a real Glock, and it's harder than any of these, obviously, too. But overall, the gun is super cool. Nice hard kick. And can run on CO2, no problem. Lastly, we have my beautiful cotton candy Glock 26. This is also a Tokyo Marui. All stock on the inside, minus the nozzle. It's a garter, but I also have a garter frame, garter slide, and garter outer barrel, and that same trigger that I have on both of these. Really not much of a performer. It's more of a fun gun. It really doesn't even work on the tiny magazine just because the slide's too heavy and the gas, there's not enough gas. But with bigger magazines, it does work pretty okay. But I built this purely because it looks cute. I don't know, I like it. I'll probably never use it, but it's neat to have. Last but not least, my final gun is the WE CT25. This thing is so cool. Like, it has no reason being as cool as it is. I saw this at my last trip to GamePod. Me and my buddy bought a silver one and a pink one, and we swapped some parts over with each other. And this is the combination that I got. So we have pink frame, silver trigger, silver mag, silver hammer, and silver slide and barrel. Looks sweet. I can't dry fire this because you have to actually have BBs in it. There's a magazine disconnect, and I lost the little thing that you can put inside the magazine to dry fire it. But this thing is so cool. Let's compare it to the Weagle in terms of size. This thing is tiny. You could fit 5 of these inside of this gun. This is like Shaq, and this is his girlfriend. You get it? But it shoots like 230 FPS, 230, 250, whatever. These magazines hold like 8 BBs. And it surprisingly kicks pretty good for how small it is. I also have a thread adapter screwed in so I could put a tracer on here, because I think that'd be really funny. Like a night game or something, just have this stashed away and then you pull it out and pew pew. But super small, super funny. Like, I don't have huge hands, but it's still way smaller than your hand. Probably one of my favorite guns that I own. I can't even lie. Performance-wise, it sucks, but it's like, it's tiny. Of course it sucks. Thanks for tuning in to my full collection video, everyone. If you have any questions regarding any of the guns in this video, please leave a comment down below. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you want to see next time. As always, I hope you guys have a nice day, and I'll catch you on the next one.